So welcome everyone, it's Dr. Ed Bauman. It's always a pleasure to be with you. We're going to talk about healing gut-brain disturbances. We're going to have education, recipes, and healing practices. So we're going to have a culinary webinar. Often you have cooking classes and nutrition classes. This is a combo. This program contains educational material only. It's not intended to replace advice from your physician. I recommend seeking integrative health medicine guidance. Look for the best from both systems. Be in charge of your own life. So I'm going to be talking about irritable bowel and irritable brain syndromes, IBS ×2. And in the medical literature, it's called a disorder of gut-brain interaction. Symptoms are rather familiar and common: bloating, gas, pain, constipation, diarrhea, brain fog, memory loss, mood disorder, and dementia. So it's interesting how both the gut and the brain symptoms can be very disturbing. The root causes are gut dysbiosis, which is an imbalance in the microbia, in the microbiome, compounded by stress, food and chemical sensitivities, trauma, and anxiety. We all have some of that. But if we have lots of that over a period of time, it becomes endemic and it's quite disturbing. Leads to chronic inflammation, tension, microbiome imbalance, which creates gut disturbances. The remedy is rather simple on one level. It's soothing diet, healing nutrients with demulcent, meaning softening, moistening herbs, wellness lifestyle practice, more nature, and less screen time. I think we're kind of captive to the screen and to the synthetic lifestyle that's being imposed on us. Back in the old days, we were outdoors and we need that outdoor time. I advise wellness practices. I have 5 pillars, and the complete wellness lifestyle is what leads to complete wellness, regardless of condition. It's an important statement there. It's not just one aspect. So it's eating for health, joyful movement, and mindfulness. And with mindfulness, I use the acronym CALM, centered and living in the moment. And I say, come on, Ed, calm down. I need to calm down. It's easy to get overstimulated. And healing relationships with people and with nature and with ourself. And soulful service, purpose. This is spirit in action. This is where love puts on its work clothes and gets down into the trenches to support others and help us get out of self-absorption, which is rather common. So we see a gut-brain axis. It's a circular pattern. We need to calm the mind to calm the gut, and vice versa. Psychobiotics, that's the notion of psychology and biology interconnected. Psychobiotics, immunology, gut, mind, brain ecology. We live in this ecological network. We live in a garden. We live in a universe. We're affected by all things in and out. The gut and the brain are in constant communication via the nervous system, hormones, and the immune system. What an incredible concept that is. That they're not independent. The gut and the brain are an integrative system, and it gets easily disturbed and dysregulated. The microbiome, all those bacteria from the nose to the mouth, to the organs, to the gut, to the skin, to the vagina, the microbiome is everywhere. There are more bacteria than cells in our body. It generates neurotransmitters. So the neurotransmitters are not just in the brain. 90% are made in the gut, and they speak to the brain via the vagus nerve, which is the superhighway, with all kinds of outreach throughout the whole body, picking up sensations around us and thoughts in our head. Microbiome dysbiosis is the primary driver. Now, that's a big statement. Primary driver of mental, physical, and social disease. We have so much social disease. And I'm wondering what people who are out of control and harming people are eating and thinking, and how their gut is, and what kind of stimulus and pressure that's driving aberrant behavior. We're we're peaceful beings, and we see a lot of conflict in the world. The gut-brain nerve immune axis, the microbiome influence on neuroinflammation occurs through the production of metabolites and signaling molecules that can either promote or suppress inflammatory response in the central nervous system. What a wonderful statement. Our gut, our bacteria, our interplay can upregulate or downregulate inflammation. Vagal regulation of gut immune-brain communication is a bidirectional highway transmitting signals about intestinal inflammation, microbial composition to the brain while allowing the central nervous system to modulate the gut. So when the brain is on fire and the brain is frightened or traumatic activity, the gut contracts, the gut shuts down. The gut is unable to process, assimilate food, eliminate food, and we have congestion, we have stagnation, we have disease. So I use the Eating for Health approach. It's a model I've created and used in all my clinical and community work. And food is the foundation of our health. We have whole, natural, nutrient-dense food, whole foods, bio-individual and seasonal eating, and it's both healing and preventive of illness. Very important. The benefits are to increase health and vitality, support the immune function, prevent chronic and degenerative illness. It's restorative. Eating for Health is so amazing. And this is the model. This is something I created 30 years ago. It remains true. It's much more diverse than various reductionistic models. There can be therapeutic application of simple short-term diets, but in general, we need all of the above. And you see in the outer circle here, beverages. Beverages are very important because our bodies are made up of fluids. And then we have a carbohydrate component, colorful carbohydrates. And then we have a booster food component, which is herbs and spices and condiments. And then we have proteins and we have oils and seeds in the very center of the bullseye. And this provides macronutrients, protein, fat, and carb, micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, which is plant alkaloids that are protective, antioxidants, fibers, fluids, ferments, and microorganisms. The most important part of the food is the skin. Even the chicken skin is important. Even the fish skin is important because the skin is where the minerals are, the skin is where the microorganisms are, and in most cases the foods have been denatured, they've been irradiated, they've been put through all kinds of sanitation processes which have limited our exposure to diverse microorganisms. Here's a picture of a well-balanced plate with portions and proportions. And very simply, it's at least half vegetables. It can be more if you so choose, a quarter starch and a quarter protein. I say beverages are as important or more important than food in a nutritional model, and I think tea is the primary beverage. Tea is water plus plants. Typically it's leaves, it could be flowers, could be roots, stems. Tea is amazing. And here's a picture of green tea with mint. And I suggest making tea by the liter, by 4 cups at a time, and having several batches of tea to drink during the day. When you have your water bottle, you're going to work, you're home, fill that bottle with tea without sugar, without milk, without additives, just beautiful, clean tea. Let's talk about a brain tune-up. Well, the foundational support is it needs macro, micro, and phytonutrients. When people don't eat well, even when they take good supplements, they don't get results. So this combination of whole, natural, diverse food, seasonal, organic, local food, is vital to support brain function, promoting long-term cognitive health. I'll be 80 this year, and I'm sharper, smarter than I was when I was 70, 60, 50, 40, or 30, because the effect of living well, eating well is cumulative. We have to address nutritional deficiencies. in things such as magnesium, zinc, B vitamins, amino acid, fatty acids, antioxidants. And when those are deficient, we're going to have impaired cognition and neurological decline. So the average person is deficient in most of these plus others. So it's no surprise that they're falling apart. We need a targeted approach with nutritional strategies practiced daily for 6 to 12 months to optimize neurological function, to slow aging, and to promote recovery. I think people do something for 2 weeks and quit, and that's not going to get it done. It's building this into a daily routine. So there are targeted nutrients for brain health. For energy and blood flow support, we want creatine magnesium chelate. So that's a compound with magnesium and creatine, and citrulline, which is an amino acid, to maximize energy production, improve blood flow in the brain for optimal function. So that's a specialized product. For neurotransmission and protection, we want acetyl L-carnitine, phosphatidylserine, lipoic acid to support neurotransmission, antioxidant protection. These things are in whole foods. So for people who don't eat well, they need more supplements, but even people in a recovery process eating well, adding these will be very impactful. And then there's mood and cognitive enhancement. We have 1 out of 3 going on 1 out of 2 people reporting anxiety, depression, and insomnia. It's worsening day by day. This can be mitigated somewhat by L-theanine amino acid, L-carnitine amino, vitamin D, B12, B3, omega-3s, magnesium, and lithium orotate, wonderful mineral, rather than just lithium that's given for medical for bipolar disease. So these are all elements to discuss with your healthcare provider. How about a gut tune-up? The foundational support is exactly the same. We need macro, micro, phytonutrients to support gut function and promote long-term digestive wellness and microbiome diversity. As we get older, we tend to make less digestive fluids. We have less amylase in the mouth because we're not chewing our food, less hydrochloric in the stomach, less bile, less pancreatic enzymes in the small intestine. And then we have what's going on in the large intestine, which can be quite disturbed with the microbiome being altered often through chemicals in the food and antibiotics in the food, and antibiotics used to treat chronic infection, which is rather endemic. So for your gut tune-up, we have to address nutrient deficiencies in fiber. People are not getting enough fiber. The skin is the fiber. So don't peel your carrots, don't peel or throw away your potato peel, your yam peels. Eat those, eat that skin to get the soluble and insoluble fiber from plant foods, flora, which are friendly ferments, and also pH imbalances, the acid alkaline, people get off in one direction or the other. And then the same mineral deficiencies for the gut and the brain: magnesium, zinc, B vitamins, aminos, fatty acids, antioxidants, which are linked with chronic infections. So unfortunately, many people are running around with yeast infections, bacterial infections, parasitic infection, Lyme disease, other kinds of infections that are really draining their nutrients. And this also then manifests as malabsorption, irritable bowel syndrome, small intestine bowel disorder, and colitis. So those are the common gut things, and most people are just treating the gut, not the whole system, and I'm looking at a holistic approach. So again, the targeted approach is to have the foundation hit the deficiencies and keep it going and moving and monitoring for 6 to 12 months. Targeted nutrients for the gut would include L-glutamine or L-glycine. I usually rotate back and forth. They're both wonderful. Peppermint oil to reduce cramping. Pre- and postbiotics, which are prebiotics are starches that ferment easily. Probiotics are things in yogurt and kefir and sauerkraut and miso. that have lots of microbial action. Chamomile is wonderful, and 2 bags of chamomile at a time, or even more. Concentrate chamomile is so calming, it's so relaxing. Sometime in the afternoon, it'll be 3 o'clock. I go, maybe I want a cup of coffee to kick in. I go, no, I'm going to have strong chamomile tea. And I feel much better because I'm nourished and calmed rather than stimulating, creating more neurological disturbance. Slippery elm and marshmallow are very demulcent and soothing, and L-theanine is a precursor for collagen. And I mentioned work with a skilled health professional if you're on medication, because many people are on medication and there can be nutrient-drug interactions. I'm looking for nutrient-drug synergies, how they can work better together. Magnesium is great for all systems, just truly. I love magnesium, I swear by it. It enhances blood flow and cholesterol management. It reduces inflammation, supports learning and memory, allows easier elimination, and reduces anxiety and tension. So for me, magnesium is a chill pill, and I like all forms of magnesium. Now we see complexes with 2, 3, 4 types of magnesium together. I think that's excellent. And magnesium is in grains and greens and seeds. 450 milligrams is the RDA. That means it's an average amount, but people could use up to 1,000 milligrams of magnesium a day when they're extremely deficient, extremely depressed, extremely dysfunctioning. Magnesium is wonderful, and we can layer it in progressive dosing. Something that's been really exciting is sea buckthorn, which is a plant that's a source of omega-3, 6, 7, and 9. And most people didn't know what omega-7 was. And one of my friends has a genetic disorder for which omega-7 is actually a treatment. And it's a form of fatty acids, neutralizes free radicals, it nourishes the skin, super high in vitamin C, and improves mental clarity. So that is something that can be taken as a supplement. Let's talk about a sample healing menu. For breakfast, I like a vitality shake, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And if someone just wants something simple, calm, and easy, have some oats and blueberries with flax and have a cup of green tea. If you drink coffee, drink your coffee, and then move down the line with lower caffeinated products during the day. For lunch, a protein, grilled chicken, steamed veggies, rice, and then a tea with turmeric, reishi, and ginseng. Oh my God, that is so strengthening for the afternoon, where people start to get tired when they drink a ginseng, reishi, immune-building, turmeric, anti-inflammatory tea. And it's roughly 2 tablespoons of these combined herbs to a liter of water, or a teaspoon to a cup of water. Snacks, avocado dip or hummus or baba ganoush with rice cakes or carrots or celery, yogurt and fruit, and a dandelion fennel tea. I'll introduce that in a minute. It's a beautiful cleansing tea in the afternoon. And for dinner, a piece of fish, salmon with a sweet potato, beets, spinach, ginger mint tea, great for digestion. And then during the day, have a cup of coffee or chai, couple of cups of green tea, 4 cups of herb tea, a cup of miso broth, and a cup of kefir. Now that's quite a bit. 1, 3, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 cups a day of fluid. That's actually a perfect amount of fluid for most people. Here's the Vitality smoothie. It's got a nut milk or a kefir, or it can be any variety of whole milk you like. Scoop of greens in it. I like something I've created called Nourishing Greens. There's also Green Magic. There's some excellent greens out there. Some grass-fed whey powder. A full cup of mixed berries. I like mixed berries, red and blueberries. A couple of tablespoons of flax seeds. Some fat in there. Coconut oil, ghee, or avocado. And a teaspoon of sweet spice of life. That's one of my formulas in the Flavors of Health cookbook I've done, which includes cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, ginger, and bee pollen. Bee pollen is a great additive to your beverages and to your smoothies. And even just taking bee pollen orally will pick up your neurological function and increase your awareness. So here's the dandelion fennel root tea. It supports detox and digestion. And you see dandelion is good for liver detox. Fennel relaxes the gut, reduces bloating, and supports bile flow. The dandelion is great for improving gut bile flow. And you see the formula here, tablespoon of dandelion, a tablespoon of fennel seeds, and 2 cups of water. You can chew on fennel seeds if your digestion is not working great. Here's a cilantro detox broth for liver gut detox. Cilantro will help clear out heavy metals. There's limes and beets to stimulate liver detox and parsley to support digestion and kidney elimination. And you'll see a formula here of 4 cups of broth, cup of cilantro, quite a bit, a beet, a carrot, garlic, and the juice of limes. Slippery elm gut is good for porridge for people who go, oh my God, it's just so sore. I have either bleeding or colitis, or it's just really, I need something nourishing and calming. Slippery elm's the bark of a tree. It soothes and coats the gut. It has chia seeds for soluble fiber, helps the gut to make butyric acid, which is really great. Some bone broth or veg broth and some blueberries in there. And you can look at the formula. These are all very simple and very easy for people who don't cook. Miso is a gut healing soup, supports digestion, mineral rich, great for the microbiome. It's rich in probiotics. It's a source of glutamine to help heal the gut lining. It's digestive. I have miso soup any time of day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, before bed. Put miso broth or miso soup in the thermos when I'm on the road or I'm traveling. Very easy, very calming. Make sure your miso is organic, non-GMO, and if you can get miso with seaweed in it, so much the better. And then, of course, look how gorgeous that is. Lemon herb salmon. I could eat that right now. And what I think is special about this is it's on a bed of spinach. It's on 2 cups of spinach cooked. And it could be spinach, kale, chard, dandelion greens, turnip greens, any kind of greens. But protein and greens together are incredibly therapeutic. Very simple. Salmon, olive oil, lemon juice, some oregano, salt, and pepper. If you want, you could add a little sauce on top, a little yogurt on top. But it's just fabulous for you. And then we need to be calm, centered, and living in the moment. And we do this through daily practices. This is what keeps our vagal nerve in proper balance, so it gets stimulated and calms. There's sympathetic activity, parasympathetic activity. And it starts with deep belly breathing. Breathe into the count of 4, hold for the count of 7, breathe out for the count of 8. And then guided visualization and meditation throughout the day, not just in the morning, but take 5-10-minute breaks during the day and just see yourself out in nature, or go out in nature, better yet, and see yourself surrounded by light and love and nature and beauty, taking in chi. And then do your nature walks with your barefoot, so you're getting some grounding, some earth energy in the forest, in the woods, by the ocean, even in your backyard. Do some yoga poses. It doesn't have to be a full-on yoga session, but just some stretching, some floor exercises, and rub your stomach in a clockwise manner. It'll really help you. And then finally, I think this is most important, is affirming throughout the day, I am safe, I am loved, and I am joyful in my healing journey. I am on a healing journey. You are on a healing journey. Our society is on a healing journey, and it's getting bad, but it's going to get better. And I affirm that I'm part of the solution. I'm not stuck in the problem. So using all these together can really calm us down. Here's my latest book. It's just an amazingly beautiful book of nourishing wisdom. It's guidance from traditional, from ancient, from modern. It's a mixture of healing stories, research, practices, and amazing photographs, most of them food and nature, by my beautiful wife, Chris Clay Bauman. And then here's my call to action. Our task is to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion, loving kindness, acceptance, to embrace all humanity and the whole of nature in its beauty. We are part of nature. Our love of nature helps nature heal, and being in nature helps us heal. We're natural beings, and we want to return to a more natural lifestyle. Here's some references from our talk that explain that diagnosis of the disturbed gut-brain imbalance. Here's a self-study course. It's just really fun that I offer on my website, where you can learn eating for health. You can learn the principles of eating for health, the practice, and you can get the recipes. You get the entire Flavors of Health cookbook in this self-paced course. I've written 15 books. I've been doing this for 55 years. So all of them are really remarkable, and many of them are courses. So if you're interested, contact me. Happy to turn you on to some of these. And visit our free wellness library at edbauman.com. Well, thank you, friends. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. I look forward to our question and answer. Be well. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Dr. B signing off.